People culture. This is part two of the USA people culture thing. So this is what you guys should be focusing on now, because you already knew all that other stuff, most of it, from our lessons. But this is kind of new for some of you. So listen carefully. Please try to view this second part of the video before our next lesson. So, of course, you guys know many people, many personalities, a lot of pop culture, especially recent stuff from the United States. So it's such a powerful, it's the only superpower at the moment for army, for military-wise. And it's... Well, anyway, we have a melting pot of cultures, so many different immigrants came from Europe, Asia, Central America, and Africa. So we have traditional food from these countries. So the food is one thing: Mexican, Italian, Indian food, Chinese food, very popular stuff, okay? You can get German restaurants, any big city, you can get a lot of this stuff. Remember, the Mexican food, a lot of Southwest hot food, spicy. Okay, so natives were the first people, so you can talk about Tecumseh and some Cherokee Indians and Navajo Indians. They're Apache Indian tribes. Let's see, as a culture, we really value independence, hard work, image, how we look, friendly outlook, like being happy, smiling, equality, we say we value it, at least, and money makes the world go round. Specific significant people, some important people. Thomas Edison invented many things. In fact, he was like, he invented the light bulb, okay, the incandescent, the old-fashioned light bulb, which maybe he would be happy to see the new inventions we have today, right, that we don't use it anymore that much. He invented so many other things, and he was actually... he was a rival of, what was that, European, Tesla, right? And so there's this kind of controversy between who invented what for different things in electricity. But anyway, Thomas Edison invented so many things, and he actually was quite a businessman. So he was also a politician, a statesman, other things. So he was kind of like the Henry Ford of cars. So he didn't just invent the light bulb and all these other things, but he actually perfected, or he made efficient invention facilities, like factories where people could invent stuff, new stuff, efficiently, and then he actually took the patents in his name. So, yeah, that he invented all that stuff, I don't know. Ben Franklin, a statesman, one of the founding fathers, invented the lightning rod, for example, outside your house, so the lightning doesn't strike your house if it's really high, if it's the highest thing around. Ben Franklin, so statesman and very important person. George Washington was a general in the War for Independence, the Revolutionary War, and he was so popular he became the first president of the USA, George Washington. And Thomas Jefferson was an early president of the USA. He wasn't second. I forget if he was third, fourth. Thomas Jefferson was basically, he was responsible for many things, but one being preserving some of the beautiful land that we have. And he actually hired a couple of guys, army guys, ex-army guys that he knew, to survey and explore the whole West. When the French sold us the West, he got Lewis and Clark, the explorers, to go on boats to see if there was a trade route from the east to the west, and to take pictures of all the animals and to interact with the Indian tribes and all kinds of stuff. So very curious, exploring kind of guy. He wanted to be more powerful. Jefferson. Adams, John Adams, another one of our forefathers, our early presidents. There's a beer named after his brother or his son, Sam Adams, James Madison, another forefather, Alexander Hamilton. These guys were kind of important politically and as statesmen for different reasons. African Americans were brought to the USA as slaves from Africa. They got their freedom, which they weren't totally free even after that, got their freedom in 1863, but many have issues, problems even today with racism is still among us without any doubt. And also mixed in with that, it complicates the problem, is that many black families, many black people suffer from poverty, crime, education problems, lack of education, poor housing, slums. They live in the hood. They live in the hood, right? Family relations, right? Because a lot of again, this is sort of caused by my ancestors, by white people to begin with. We are responsible to some big degree of the difficulties that the black population faces today in the USA, to be honest, really. So family relations, a lot of black men are in jail, right? In prison, a disproportionate number, right? So you have single moms. Most black children have single moms, so many, and job opportunities are really hard. So they're more likely than white people to be arrested, to be accused of crimes, to die of coronavirus and other stuff, to get shot, to fail from school, to not have a dad at home, to have drug, alcohol problems, to die at childbirth. There are so many more issues here. So President Obama was our first black president, and so he served 2 terms, and before Trump. And I think I really admired him. He was an eloquent speaker. He was a Chicago mayor, I guess, and good at getting groups of people together to do stuff. So he, Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King, sorry, the original Dr. Martin Luther King was a civil rights leader. You should know that one, okay? He was about peaceful marching, right? Then you have blacks in sports. I forget who these people are, and I think, you know what? I think I've got a, let me see if I can do this. Show notes, maybe? Speaker notes, boom. Can I do that? Yeah, so Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, I think it's Beyonce. I didn't write it, sorry. Right, and the next one, where am I? Here. So you've got Santa Claus, Christmas traditions with hanging stockings by the chimney to be filled by Santa, decorating a Christmas tree, the same things, you guys, wrapping presents, except we have Christmas on the 25th, and you guys, we open the presents on the 25th, and a lot of you guys open the presents on the 24th, right? So other than that, there's not a whole lot of differences, really. Big ones, anyway. So we've got... Maine, which is my state. I talked about this in the lessons, so you can refer to that. A lot of beautiful stuff. Christmas time, I just talked about that. Thanksgiving, we eat too much. Turkey, gravy, stuffing, you should know some of these things later on if you have food for a maturity topic, you definitely need to be able to kind of recite some things for Thanksgiving, not just turkey. So, in November, Thanksgiving, traditional is turkey, stuffing, gravy, mashed potatoes, many pies. Yeah, people travel long distances, see their families. It's the 3rd Tuesday of November. Hunting takes place in the northern climates. Deer hunting season usually is starting. Pumpkins are very important. Symbol, different kinds of food, family, religion for some people. Yeah. So this is humans and family. So I wanted to say, how can I do this? Most people work many hours. I talked about this in class, I think. So some people have 2 jobs. We don't get as much vacation time as you guys, and we don't use it even when we get it. In most states, employers are not required to provide employees with vacation benefits, paid or unpaid. Most states have no maternity leave or very little, some 6 weeks unpaid possibility to leave work. So that's horrible for mothers. We've got, we're known for our corporations around the world. So here are a few fast food joints, right, that you can talk about, that we kind of inflicted on the world, some of them, and there are many, many other big corporations that could be spoken about. Subway, a couple of years ago, there were more locations for Subway around the world than any other USA restaurant. There were 42,600 of them last year or 2 years ago. There were 38,695, about 40,000 McDonald's around the world, okay? The red arrow shows that the price went down recently or up recently. Starbucks is doing better than normal. You've got the green up arrow there. Starbucks started in Washington State in the Northeast. Okay, so you've got that. McDonald's started in California by the Kroc. Ray Kroc actually started the chain idea. By the way, his parents were Czech. Yeah, so Czech people kind of got McDonald's for us. Burger King, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Dunkin' Donuts, everywhere, right? Sorry, my nose is runny. Business technology companies, Apple, Microsoft, Google. You should be able to mention at least one or two of these companies that are really important around the world. They're not all USA companies, just the first top three are. But Tencent is right on the heels of Apple and Microsoft. It might be a little bit different now, but definitely Tencent is the ones that own TikTok, for example. Okay. Next slide. How can I do this? Boom, boom. So you've got, steaks, burgers, loving to shop. We live to shop in the USA. We buy. Walmart is the biggest retailer in the world. Excuse me, sneezing. Wow. So Mexican Americans, so we have a lot of Mexican food, tacos, enchiladas, quesadillas. We have Mexicans that come and work as farm workers, migrant workers, where they move around and they harvest crops around the USA. Backbreaking hard work, and a lot of Mexicans work in a lot of jobs that other Americans don't want. Some of them are legal, and some of them are not legal or undocumented, right? Where else am I? Excuse me. Czechs. There are a lot of Czechs in the USA. We talked about this too. Madeleine Albright was a famous Czech woman who was she was a Czech woman who became a politician. She was a Secretary of State for the USA. So she was one of the president's top leaders in our country. I don't know, 30 years ago. I don't remember. There was an astronaut that was a Czech guy. His name was Cernan. He was on Apollo 17. Ray Kroc. Miloš Forman was a Czech American, right? So you have a lot of culture there. I think that's all I want to say for now.